Hello, my name is Delroy Brown, and along with my beautiful wife and children, we are very happy serving the Lord at the Elim Leicester Church family just on the Narborough Road. Pastor Dave asked me to share some thoughts, specifically in the run up to Christmas, with just some ideas and themes that are normally associated with Christmas that we can get from the Bible, but that we can look at that applied then, but take from it encouragement and maybe one or two learning points for today. Because of course we're aware of the year that we have having, and I won't even mention that. So let's stay on the positive. And the first theme or idea that I had for these short talks was hope. Hope. And when I was thinking about what I was going to say and asking God to help me, this came to mind: holding on to positive expectations. Hope. Holding on to positive expectations. That's hope. Now, it's a word we're all familiar with, and it's a theme and an idea that we are all very familiar with. And it's often said with humanity, people can endure the most horrific situations, the most horrific circumstances, if they have a hope. Often survivors of Auschwitz and other terrible, terrible periods of history, when asked what it was that enabled them to keep going and ultimately survive the ordeal, a very common theme is that they all said they had something to hope for. And that's really, really important for us today, of course, with the current challenges. But looking at the Bible and the Christmas story specifically, I think of the wise men, the Magi. We often say there are three wise men. We don't know from the Bible whether there were three, but given that they gave Jesus three gifts, we assume that there are three wise men. But the wise men saw a star, and they saw a star a significant period of time before Jesus was born. So they decided to follow that star. They knew that the appearance of that particular star had significance. They decided to follow it to find the baby Jesus, the Messiah. Now, in setting out, we have to remember hundreds of years ago, they didn't have social media, they didn't have sat-nav, they didn't have all of the tools and resources that we use today to travel, and they certainly weren't able to travel as quickly as we can today. So they must have had a real hope that there was something significant at the end of this journey. And I looked up their journey, and apparently it was something in the region of 500 miles. 500 miles. So to set out on a journey of 500 miles with camels, horses, across deserts and varying terrains, with what would have been a substantial caravan, a significant number of people and equipment, was no mean task. So they clearly had something that they hoped for, that they would see at the end of that journey. And it's really, really important that we realise that, because it's not like today where we could phone ahead or send a messenger to find out if it was all true. They themselves set out on quite an arduous journey, a journey then that would have taken weeks, if not months, that today we could do in hours, if not days. So there was something really, really important about what it was that they were hoping for them to set out on a really long journey. They were obviously hoping for something really big and significant at the end of it. And today, what are we hoping for? And often when we look at the news, many things that we have previously put our trust and our hope in have been found wanting. Many things have fallen by the wayside. We see the number of shops and businesses that are closing. Financial institutions are falling. But I just want to encourage you with a verse from the Bible. And as I said, there are many, many, many references to hope in the Bible. But specific to us today, taking the lessons from the Christmas story to now, I just want to encourage you with a verse from Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7, which says this: "Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is." That's the King James Version. Other versions use other words like confidence, but I really like this. It says, "Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is." So if you believe in Jesus Christ and your hope is placed in him and all that he says and all that he says that he does, you're already blessed. That I find incredibly encouraging. And the amazing thing with God is that he will never let us down. He's always the same. Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today and forever. So he's not subject to financial crashes or the stock market or fashions and trends or anything like that. He remains true and the same. And so we can put our hope in him, and in doing so, we are blessed. That's what it says. Blessed is the man or woman or child that trusteth in the Lord and whose hope the Lord is. So as we end a very, very challenging year in 2020 and look forward to 2021, my question to you is, where is your hope? Do you have hope? And if you do, where is it placed? I would just really encourage you at this Christmas time to have a think about Jesus if you don't. And if you do, look to him all the more. Because he promises that when we put our hope in him, we will never falter, we will never fail, and we will never be put to shame. Holding on to positive expectations in Jesus. Thanks for your time.